Hi, this is Michael Keter, spiritual advisor and entrepreneur. Today I am going to talk about extraordinary subject, and that is gratitude. Finding gratitude in times of pandemic. And I'm going to talk about with a special guest, to me, very unique guest, a person, a soul that can share with us the experience, the knowledge, the power of the gratitude. Riya Sokol is the artist, the singer. She's also the teacher, extraordinary teacher of Tantra. She's author of the poem and the video as well, Thank You Coronavirus, which, as we know, went within 3 days, literally, viral around the world and was watched over 15 million times. Gratitude as a subject, it's paramount, and it counts, and it's going to count even more to humanity. I have decided and I have requested Riya to join me to talk with us about gratitude for many reasons. I just would like to start off, mention some of them. The first one is that gratitude is a part of contentment, is a part of enrichment that I am using in my job. The second reason is that okay, I'll try to connect to Riya. Okay. So Riya should join us in a minute and a second. Hi Riya, hi, how are you doing?
Hello.
Can you
I'm
hear me
good.
well?
I hear you very well. I'm just building a
you.
structure because my phone is collapsing, but it should work now. Okay.
Thank you for joining us. I sincerely appreciate your time. And I have been just sharing with the audiences the reason why actually I have requested you to join us and to talk about gratitude, finding gratitude in times of pandemic. So the first reason is, of course, my work. The second is that humanity desperately needs gratitude today. This factor of gratitude it's just growing, and it's vital, it's crucial, and it's going to be for transformation of people consciousness. But there is one more reason I would like to share also with you, that you are to me a kind of coach, a person, a soul that is searching for an answer, is inquiring, is seeking for internal answers to different kind of questions of life. So when we combine all these reasons, that's to me and to, I would suggest, my students and clients, make just sense. So I would like to, because we have a limited period of time to talk, I would like to, if you don't mind, ask you the first question to start off that will pertain to the desire, your desire. What was your desire, the cause, maybe the joy or the pain that had stood behind the poem, Thank You Coronavirus?
I just love how you ask this question because it's obviously since the poem is out, many people want to interview me or to chat with me, and then they are asking like, so how did it come to you? But never anyone asked me what pain was behind it. Beautifully asked. And it was pain. It was huge pain that I was going through this morning, the morning that I wrote the poem, that the poem came to me. I woke up and I was so shaky. I couldn't breathe. I felt like I'm just falling into pieces and everything is falling into pieces. And I'm just like a little ant, in this whole structure. And then there is a whole world around me. And I have nothing to grab to feel that I have anything to, and any safety, anything to regard to. And it was so terrifying. And it was just in the peak of the pandemic. I think it was before it came to United States. It was peak in Europe. And although I'm in America, I feel it because my family is there, my friends are there. So I felt it. And I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it. And then this morning, it just hit me. It was just right in front of my face. This panic and like I couldn't breathe. So I was every morning I'm just sitting and meditating. But this morning it was so hard for me to sit with it. It was so intense and so terrifying. So there was a lot of pain, and also realizing that things are changing and they will never be the same. And that we are witnessing it and we cannot do anything about it. We can just surrender.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that as I look back today, I don't know, maybe it's probably also your experience. If I find the courage and strength inside of me to actually literally force myself to sit with these feelings and to feel like they are burning inside and they are killing me and I'm dying. But I find the courage to allow myself and to find space inside of me that says, okay, so let it burn. Okay, so let it die. If I find it, then it's like a breakthrough moment. So from a huge breakdown, it's becoming a breakthrough. And then I come out on the other side. And once I just was lying there, because I wasn't even able to sit in my meditation, I was lying and I was feeling like I'm dying and I cannot breathe. And then at some point, I just felt this unfolding and growing and arising bigger like sense of the bigger picture of like it has to make sense. It has to make sense. Maybe it was just like my despair. And I just started seeing it. Okay, so if I go beyond my being an ant, and beyond this little person that I am, what do I see? And this is what I saw. And I just sat and started scratching like, okay, so thank you for teaching us all that. Thank you for my humbleness, because I feel humble now. Mm-hmm. It's this force that it's beyond, everything that I can imagine. So, yeah. Thank you for this question. Beautiful question.
You're welcome. I honestly resonate to that. Since
I thought so. Mm-hmm. Yeah, how it is for you?
I noticed that once I saw the clip, the post, I saw it. I felt this paradox in us, and in the human consciousness, that there is something like pain in you, or the pain in the author of that that has to be shared with humanity and has to be shown off. And speaking about that and resonating truly and honestly, quite frankly with that, I remember that since I was 8 years old, because on the following day of my communion, my father passed away. So it was traumatic experience for me. So since then I started like pertaining all my questions to life, to pain. Why didn't it happen? Why this is happening to me and perhaps to other people who just don't share with this. And also on the basis of that, of my students and clients who have this life experience, different kind of backgrounds and cultures, as you presume you know how it works, there's a common denominator. And people don't really want to talk a lot about it, but at least we could just scratch a little bit of that, which is the pain. The pain is the biggest motivator in our life. I have noticed that we have like free will, we have free choice. And if we don't implement, if we don't want to change our consciousness, our life, if you don't want to acquire this gratitude,
Mm.
then the universe is just basically pushing us, whether we like it or not, whether we are going to enjoy that or not, to different kind of circumstances so that we could face them and learn. So the sad actually part of that is that we don't want to face some challenges that appear usually suddenly or too late in our life. And that's my second question. We have this yin and yang, then plus and minus. And usually when we talk about this frequency, the high frequency, which is the gratitude, and the lower frequency, which is fear, anxiety, people, when they feel that, when something happened in them, when we feel internally, we usually run. We just try to find different ways of running towards higher frequency, and that's fine. I would say that's beautiful. But still, there must be a reason to work the lower frequency a little bit higher. So there must be something that you also, in this challenge, you saw this beautiful stuff, you saw this beautiful nature teaching us. How would you say about these challenges that encounter sometimes, the pain we encounter, the anxiety, the fear, lack of many things? How do you live with that? How would you address that?
Mm. Yeah, it's a powerful thing that you're sharing just now, and it's very precious. It's very precious, all that you're saying. It's interesting because in our culture, we are being taught exactly opposite of what you're saying. When
Yes.
something hurts, take a pill. You know, when you have a headache, take something to get rid of that. When you have depression, take antidepressants. So we are being taught that when something hurts, it's wrong, and we, like as you're saying, exactly as you're saying, it's like I don't think I could learn so much that I've learned if I didn't go through so much pain in my life. I don't think I would be that person. And I even witnessed my daughter, she's 12, and she went recently through a lot of pain. And after, and she couldn't understand it. She was like, "Mommy, do something. Why am I hurting so much?" And because of my experience, I really had to go above being a mother, because obviously as a mother, my heart was breaking. So when I was able to step back a little bit and just be with her and just allow her and embrace her with all that pain and allow her to actually feel this pain and show her that it's okay to feel it. She was freaking out for a little bit, but I was giving her practices. We were practicing a lot. We were doing structures, breathing exercises, many things that you probably also know how to do. And after she started get out of this pain, it took a week, I think. After a week, she was really struggling, and she's 12, you know. And after a week, we were singing mantras together. And after she finished, she was like, "Mom, I just realized why this pain happened to me. When you were saying it to me, I couldn't believe you, but I just realized that I'm so much stronger now. I feel I can do so many things just now. I feel like a different person." And indeed, her face was different. She's moving in a different way. She's speaking in a different way. She had a huge transformation. And I'm thinking, wow, if only, because of course I will not mention how much it cost me, because I was holding space for her. But then when she was falling asleep, I was collapsing, obviously, and going into my emotions, because it was painful for me as well. But I was thinking that if we would be able to really find this, like, trust that this pain is opportunity. It's not necessarily something, that the crisis is an opportunity and not the disaster. then maybe we would all be in a different place. Maybe we could also transmit it to our children, and the world is slowly starting to change thanks to that. So this is why you're doing your job, I'm doing my job, and we're trying to bring it and to share that it's like it's okay to feel the pain. It's
I
fine.
remember, yeah, thank you. Thank you for the answer. It's amazing. I remember that when we came to United States for the first time uh, with my wife and child, David, now he's 11, almost
Mm-hmm.
12, and he went to American school, and he said he was like 5 years old. And he
Mm-hmm.
said, I don't understand them. He said, I don't know what to do. I'm so confused. I'm so perplexed. What should I do, Mom? And Kasia, my wife, Katarzyna, she said, just pretend that you understand them and you will see that one day everything will be okay. And then suddenly, a little bit of pain he experienced, of course, and this baffledness. He said after a couple of weeks, you know what? Now suddenly I understood them. It wasn't so difficult. So it's like that's the
Mm-hmm.
challenges we and our children have to face. But you also mentioned, and that is another question later on I was going to ask you, but you actually it popped out, is about we need to trust.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the song. We need to trust. And I would like to ask you, we need to trust it because that's really connected. It seems to me that everything is what we are talking about, and the gratitude is connected, and the song too. It's to trust. And I was going to ask you, our intuition, the universe, trust other people, or maybe the challenges that are just coming, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to know that. Can you share that with us?
So the question is actually what we need to trust or whom we need to trust. Mm-hmm. I think the best phrase that comes to me just now is trust the process that's life. And you know, for many people, it will be God, it will be Source, it will be Universe, it will be, people like to call it love, people like to call it in a different way. So I would say it's trust about in whatever is happening to you or for you, actually. I love this story about the guy who had problems with his back, and he found out that the company that he's working in is moving, and that they're gonna have a longer distance from the parking to the building. So then he came back home and he found it out, and he was like, I really hope my parking place will be close, the closest place. Otherwise, I will have to walk the whole parking, and it's just impossible with my back, And obviously what happened was like he got the place like at the very, very end of the parking. So in order to get to the building, he had to go like, a few hundred meters. And this was his spot. And he was ready to leave the job, but it kind of came to him that maybe it's the time to take care of his back. So he went to work on his back, and the person that was giving him the sessions is now his wife, and they have children. So so often when we're in the middle of the experience, we're just not able to see. And when I say we need to trust, let's trust in what it is all leading towards. Because at the end, there is always something bigger that we couldn't see when we're in the middle of the building. We have to get out of the building to see it.
Exactly. There is so many definitions of gratitude. For example, we are grateful for what we have in this lifetime right now. Or some people may say that I am grateful for everything what I'm experiencing right now in my life, what I'm going through. Some other people may say that I'm truly and deeply appreciate the process I was in the past, that I learned something very painful in the past, or that whatever is going to happen. But how do you discern? How would you tell, or how would you share with us what, in your opinion, how would you define the gratitude? What is really gratitude? What that is to you? What that might be?
Hmm. 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 Okay, so I would say that the gratitude for me is the other side of the coin. So it's like we have an event, and on one side of this event, it's some negativity. And I'm sure in every event we can find some negative aspects of it. And then on the other side, we have good aspects of this event. And then there is a third place. It's above, where we're neither here, where we are maybe sometimes even spiritually bypassing, and like, being unicorns and the rainbows and so forth. And then we're also not the negative. So it's like somewhere beyond, where you can see both of these sides, and it gives the sense of being able to contain so much. It gives the sense of power. It gives the sense of wholeness, and 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 as I said, like, there is a trap on this side, on this positive trap, because just like people have a tendency to be negative, people can have also a tendency to be too positive and too, as I said, spiritually bypassing. So for me, it's like integral gratitude, I would say. And then the integral gratitude is where I am able to incorporate both of these sides, and then find humbleness and surrender to this event.
I mean, I have never heard, I have to share that. I have never heard such a great statement, spiritual bypass. It's amazing to say something and then give the explanation to it. It's amazing to give a picture to something that you cannot see or feel. So speaking about that, or having said that, what came to my mind in the meantime, simultaneously, when you were saying this, is that doubts. There's so many doubts about life, about our present life, about our future. So what is going to happen to us, let's say tomorrow, or next week, next month, or what are we going to do, in a short period of time at some stage. We are all the time worried. There is no certainty in us. And how I can see building the certainty, it's gratitude. Like, the gratitude is on the way to help us to understand the better future. It's waiting ahead of us. Now, speaking about spiritual session, you do a lot, and I would love to ask you. My next question, I presume, is going to be your work, your job. But speaking about the spiritual work with other people, we do. I call that pragmatic spirituality, because on one stage,
That's nice.
yeah, I deal with the consciousness of that person. So we are searching for the past cause, why did it didn't happen, and then obviously we need, and that's my question to you. We need this world. We need problems. I think we need mat, to be inside the mat, to slowly take out everything, bit of it, and wash it out. So sometimes, we just want to focus, as you just said, we just want to focus on something that is right now good for us, and it's going to be just pleasurable. But there's no coincidence that we are here also. So we have this part of our consciousness, this beautiful part, when we can meditate, when you can sing, when you can share your talent with other people. That's one part of that, and you spend a lot of time, I hope, for that, or every morning at least. But there is, when you finish that and you open your eyes, or when you are after the session, then you have to face something that building in ourselves doubt, not certainty. So humanity needs really desperately, as I mentioned earlier on before you joined me, this gratitude. What is your message to that pain? What is your message? I would like to know, and I think not only me, but other people, to the world today, to cope with these doubts.
Mm, mm, hmm. Well, I don't know how you feel it, but I feel that this is the biggest lesson we're going through just now, because actually being certain of anything is just an illusion, and it never was certain. And just now what happens is like it's just right in front of our face, that we cannot plan anything, we cannot do anything, we cannot predict anything, because we've never been in a situation like that before. And I presume that for everyone it will be a different tool that will be more supportive. For some people it's maybe more active, for other people it's maybe more going inside. How I work personally is, for me, it's a practice of surrender. And I am observing my mind that is literally freaking out. It's like, it's going insane. And it wants to, know. It wants to know. Like, at least anything, It's like yesterday we found out that the borders of Costa Rica are being extended with, they are closed, and they were meant to be opened within a week, and they extended it for another month.
Wow.
And it's like, it's causing so much fear, because you wake up every day and you just don't know, and it's just, you just don't know what's gonna happen in your phone, what message you're gonna get. And for me personally, it just forces me to just trust. This is how this phrase came to me. Like, I just need to like, what else can I do? It's like, this phrase is not only positive, it's almost like helpless also, It's like, but what else can I do actually?
So yeah, that's really that's the point. You surrender, right? That's really what I wanted to know. What can we do in the time of this doubt? What is going to happen with us, let's say tomorrow or tomorrow after? When I look at the virus and everything, the crisis we have right now, whatever that means to everybody means something else. I see that not the virus itself. It's speaking about the gratitude, and during these times of pandemic, it's not dangerous for us. To me personally, it's about always the immune system. When the immune system is compromised, then of course it doesn't work for us. So you build. I truly believe that you have so many tools to share. Perhaps you could share something with us, like a mantra or different songs you do, or different spiritual tools you could. Can you share something with us to build up stronger, to surrender from one side, and also build up stronger immune system, so that if something happened to us, like this, what is happening right now, we still will feel internally, we will feel a peace. Is there anything you could share with us? Is there anything you could tell us a little bit more?
It's so beautifully, it's so beautiful that you're asking that. It's actually, it really resonates with me, what you're saying. And it's really present in me that, as you said, I am not so afraid of the virus itself. I am not so afraid of, because ultimately, my purpose is not that I will avoid it, you know, the same with fear or with, panic or whatever. It's not ultimately the purpose to just, I hope it will not come. Actually, the purpose is like, how do I build myself, whether on a physical level or energetical level, that even when the demon comes, you know, I am able to just stand on my feet and deal with it. And this is how I realized it was my biggest struggle in my life, that I was always reacting when it was already happening. So when I was already collapsing, you know, emotionally or something, this is when I was, oh, I have to meditate. Oh, I have to do this and that. And after so many years of such a struggle, I was seeing that whether it's immune system or energetical immune system, like I have to take care of it every day. And I love that you mention it, that it's like there are tools that work as a prevention. And for sure it's there are certain meditations that are not necessarily maybe, you know, just sitting in lotus position, but certain breathing exercises that are boosting this immune system. Obviously, mantras are incredible because they also clean the space around you. So it's also like it's spreading, you know, around your house, around your friends, around your family. So this is also a very supportive tool. I think some kind of discipline, and whatever practices there you choose to do, it's about being really consistent, and it's about like the emotional energetical hygiene. It's like we don't take shower only when we're dirty. We take shower every day. So it's exactly the same rule for me. It's like, how do I not get to the point where I'm, you know, smelling and stinking, but to take care of it every day. So it's the same on the energetical level. Take care of it with an inner discipline.
There is something I actually didn't plan to ask you, but having, you know, spoken to each other, perhaps I will take a risk. How do you see? There is a point I would like to ask. I usually don't, to be honest, I don't. This is my first live with my guest. I, I, this is something new
Mm.
for me, a new experience. So,
You sound very experienced, so
okay,
I
thank you.
didn't realize. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, the first one, and so therefore, I would like to ask you about something I usually don't ask, which is the desire we have inside, the feeling we have inside, the
Mm.
thoughts and emotions. What, in your opinion, they are coming from? What is the source you heal them? Because when you use your tools, your spiritual tools, and there are so many tools, we know that, because I spent like almost without a year, 40 years for different kind of spirituality. I have been in so many different churches. You don't want to go because it's so difficult to run later words from that. So I wanted to try everything and to experience, to make sure that I'm not cheating myself, that I'm honest with
Mm.
myself. But you, I hope that you have these tools, that you heal the source of this memory, you heal the source of these desires, like the poem you wrote. So how do you heal them? If you of course, if you can address that, how do you try to heal the deepest part of yourself and surrender yourself?
So you're talking about these desires that are around like predictability and things like that, or more personal? What kind of desires you mean?
Yeah, something that to me desire, it's we are desired because if there is no desire, we wouldn't move. So
Mm.
if I want to talk to you, I
Mm-hmm.
need to organize the life. If
Yes.
I want a cup of coffee, I need to go and to the kitchen and do it and make it for myself, of course. So we are like one big desire, but some of these desires are so deep and they don't want to let you go. You just like a recurring dream coming back and coming back, and you think about something you want to fulfill yourself with, like with this peace. You want to surrender yourself and make sure that you heal this inner desire that doesn't give you this peace in your mind. I'm talking about that kind of things. I know it's quite personal, maybe it's too much to ask, but is there anything you have thought about it? How to surrender to that? Yes.
So it's like how to. So for sure, in Tantra, they say a lot about desire, and it's a lot about being with the desire and noticing how, again, socially, like in our culture, we are being taught and conditioned that when we have a desire, we need to go and get it. So it's like, if I'm hungry, I have to go and eat. If I, want something from my partner, I'm going and I'm asking him. So it's like, and the same like sexual desire, right? So for sure, there are very powerful practices. I did a retreat, and it was years ago when we were not eating. It was like a detox. And then part of this retreat was that at some point of this fasting, we were meant to sit in the front of the table. On the table, there was a plate with fruits, and we would be meditating with the feeling of being hungry, with the desire of eating and grabbing it.
Amazing. I mean, amazing. No, who would have thought? Who would have thought that you have been through such amazing spiritual experience? Yeah, and life challenge, whatever that is. Yes, amazing. Because usually we don't do that. As you mentioned, we're just focusing and focalizing on something that gives us instant pleasure and relief from the pain. That's what I'm just imitating you. Daniel, in the meantime, I will take a short break and ask Daniel, who texted us. We prepared before the live list. And Daniel Y, yes, he asked, how can I deal, partly I think you answered, but how can I deal with anxiety that appears now, right now? So it's something happened, I believe, ad hoc, out of the blue, I would say. How do you deal with anxiety then? Yeah.
It really depends. Sometimes I feel that I need to move it, so it's good for me to shake and to like really feel the energy moving, or dance, or just do something intense with my body, to allow, because I feel sometimes it just feels stuck. Like sometimes I just feel frozen, and anxiety is so strong
Yes.
that I cannot move. So sometimes this is the best thing to do for me, like shaking, dancing, moving. And sometimes, like literally, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? I woke up, I had tremendous anxiety, and it was again like this, it was difficult for me to take a breath, and it was clear for me that it's not about moving or interrupting myself in any way. It's just sitting or lying down. I actually had to lie down, and I started breathing very consciously with an intention of finding space inside of me for this anxiety. So not to get rid of it and push it out, but to actually welcome it in a way that it's like, I don't know, homeless person, you know? So even give a cup of tea, you know, like even going into this kind of feeling, how I would welcome someone who is just lonely or needs some shelter. And I was imagining it in my belly, that I'm like, with every breath I'm taking, when I'm taking a breath, I'm finding this one certain place where the anxiety can just take this place and just be there and feel safe and feel welcomed. And after 20 minutes, I did it for 20 minutes. And after 20 minutes, I finished. I started getting back to my breakfast and other things, and it shifted. It shifted. So it's like, again, a trick of the mind. Like, how do I deal with it? So how do I actually? For me, it was always, how do I get rid of it? Basically,
Right.
this is what was behind the question of how do I deal with it. So it's a trick for the mind. And for me, the most important is like, don't try to get rid of it. Everything you're trying to get rid of, it's gonna come back double or triple.
Mm-hmm. And do you implement? It's a similar question. Do you implement uh, in all your areas of life the same tools? If it matters to your family, to your relationship, or to family or business,
Mm.
business-wise, do you implement the same tools?
Mm. Yes, more or less. More or less. It's a good question again. I like your questions. Um, yeah, because it does differ. Like, anxiety about work is different from the anxiety about, family or my relationship. So it makes a difference. But I must say, like, I think that the amount of tools that I have just now, and also practicing and also teaching it, it gave me opportunity to be able to use my intuition, and to just, they are just coming to me. I just know exactly what to do in a certain moments.
Wow.
So, and it's a beautiful gift. It's like, I feel I've worked for it for a very long time, but it slowly started coming. So when it comes to my family or private life, of course, it's more challenging, to be so wise. And it's the biggest training always, whether it's with my daughters or my beloved. So we're trying, we're using the same tools. We're trying our best, of course, to live what we preach.
Yes. You have mentioned earlier on during the conversation that we globally, as humanity, we are experiencing something that has never really happened before. And to me, speaking for myself, like speaking from pure ego, to me, it's inevitably it's a sign that we have to work on gratitude. We have to build this gratitude. We have to go forward as humanity. And how do you see that? How do you really see the future? And of course, you are not a person who is going to take responsibility and say what we should do or not. But how do you feel more about the feeling you have? How we as a humanity need to realize that there is no other choice but to work on ourselves, because the subject of today's life, it's finding. So today, when so many people are suffering, because so many people are in pain and they suffer, most of them is just losing so many things. It's just so many tragedies. And so, having said that, really, what can we do now? What can we do to nurture, um, or maybe what are you going to also nature? How we as a humanity can collectively start with, or what is the remedy, in your opinion?
Mm.
Yeah, for us.
Yeah, it's beautifully said that it's all about us. It's all about, like, starting with the first person who does something. And just like with this virus, there was the first person, right? So there is always a first person, and it regards not only to viruses but also to other things that are contagious, just like the virus. And I think that's the most liberating thing that I experience over and over again, because I keep forgetting about that, is taking my focus from the outside to the inside and seeing where, because when we look at the pollution, for example, I can be focused on how people are polluting it, or I can be focused on how I'm doing everything not to pollute it. The best is obviously to see both of these aspects, and it's the integral perspective where we incorporate both of them. But ultimately, if we really want to change something, then we need to start doing, regardless of what is happening. Look at the beautiful example of Greta Thunberg. Like, if she would be, looking at what is happening around, like, and getting depressed by it, and getting depressed how people are criticizing her and judging her, and how people are polluting, and just really beating that drum, like, it would have a different color. It would have a different taste of what she's doing. And she's just doing her thing. She doesn't care. She's like, I believe that she doesn't even know that there is anybody who is like, that there is such a big anti-Greta movement, she just keeps on doing, and that's it. And I feel it's like, whatever you believe in, whatever is your thing, just keep doing it, keep being that, keep living yourself, and this is the essence, and if you really start believing, and if you really want to change something, just start changing it. Don't say that you won't, just do it. I'm sorry.
No, thank you. So she has huge desire, I would say, huge vessel to hold no matter what. She's passionate about whatever she's going to do. So so soon we are going, or I'm going to have this punching line and to sum up our life. But how about you? How about your future and your desire? What can you share with us? What are your desire pertaining and regarding your future? Can you share something that with us?
It really makes me sad when you ask this question. It's really the trigger point inside of me just now, because my whole life is falling apart just now. It's like probably at least half of the population is experiencing it, and I really am dancing with the unknown. In terms of my whole plan for this year, everything is cancelled. My whole tournée that we're having with my partner, we were meant to start it in April, finish in December. As every year, it's all cancelled. And it affects so much because we travel a lot and so forth. So it affects everything. And it's a dance. I have no idea. I feel that I'm going through a huge transformation, and it's just like this planet, and it is so profound that my mind cannot explain it. So when you ask me about the future, I just want to either cry or just hide, or I don't know. How about your plans? Tell me how are your plans?
You're asking me about?
Yes.
Oh.
What are your plans?
Yes. I am focusing, I try at least focus as much as I can on spirituality. And to me, it's like two simultaneous words. The one word is like yin and yang, but I try to find not only plus and minus. I also try to join them to make everything what is possible, so that one of them is going to talk. They are going to talk to each other. It's very difficult to do so, but I try to combine them together. So there is this materialistic stuff, materialistic five senses world, yes, and our desire that pertaining to that, yes, and there's also this internal world. So it constitutes of these two energies. So I try to focus on these two energies and do as much as I can. And even though I'm entrepreneur, always everything is based on spirituality to me. So no matter what it is, no matter what we do or what we face, if you're asking me, and if I may share, there's always a cause. But the issue is that we don't see the cause. So because it's somewhere in the past. But the consciousness is faster than the speed of light. So if we can find the cause, then we can change and transform the past and the future. So this is what I really try always to figure it out. My wife, she's supporting me so much, but you know, it's like part of life. She's dealing with. We love, of course, so much each other, but it's difficult for her, I believe, because I'm here, but sometimes I don't hear her, and I need to apologize to her. I'm sorry, dear. I'm sorry, my love. I was somewhere else. So this is really what I'm focusing, and how I can see. I mean, I'm talking too much, but one last sentence. I think, and I may take a risk and speak for you as well, that if you passed any test that was difficult, but truly difficult, it wasn't just a game with ego, but was you were taking a risk many times in life, I can tell, serious risk. Then you building up this gratitude. You gradually was building up slowly gratitude, and this gratitude was giving you and still is giving you power, the certainty. No matter what is going to happen to me tomorrow and my family, you are going to dance with that. And not everybody can do that. It has to be it coming from experience, coming from pain transformation, dealing with 5G word, this five senses word, and many other things. So I would like to talk perhaps about gratitude more, and the punching line, to summing up, I would say that the title that have been given by you, finding gratitude in times of pandemic, it's amazing because this is what you are saying. You can lose a lot of internal things, but if you have gratitude, if you have this consciousness who you are and what to do, then everything like holds together. You are protected. So I would like to, at some stage in the future, if you may be willing to talk more about it, let's get back and talk a little bit more.
Sure. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you. So we are leaving our audiences yearning for more. Yeah.
Good.
And
it's
yes,
better in that direction.
it's a kind of scarcity they need to experience. Thank you very much. I would like to wish you
so much.
all the best to you, to your family,
Yes.
and see you at some stage in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All the best to you and your family as well.
Thank you, Riya.
Thank
Bye.
you. Take care. Bye.
Bye.